Hello, everyone. If you haven't already watched episode 2 of the FLG Golf podcast, you should. We go on multiple journeys with Chris Farley about his life in Asia, his drunken injury history, and his career transition from being a fitness club manager in Asia to now the regional custom fit trainer for the south of England for American Golf UK. Now, when editing that episode, sadly, we had to leave a lot on the cutting room floor, including this 15-minute deep dive into Chris's golf bag, which I greatly enjoyed. Because when I knew Chris in Singapore, he didn't even own clubs, and his handicap was twice mine. Now it's half mine, and he knows a hell of a lot more about golf tech than I have the capacity to understand. So not only was it fun for us, there's a few great nuggets in there for any golfer. So here's Chris. Enjoy.
Getting a job at American Golf allowed me to play more and hit more balls and get cheaper apparel. You know, I get a discount, obviously, having working there. So I've upgraded my bag heavily, which I've actually positioned right in front of me here.
All right, details.
Ooh, okay. So we'll go from putter up if you want that.
That's so for all you children out there learning the game. You should be learning the game from the green back to the tee box, not the other way around.
Yes.
So yeah, putter up.
Absolutely.
That's the way to do it.
So putter up.
For all you children listening to the FLG Golf podcast. Yeah.
That's very true.
With all the explicit ratings here, we'll probably be under some parental controls. Hopefully.
I think so.
I'm working hard to earn it. Okay, tell us about your clubs.
Cool. So bottom end putter is a Scotty Cameron Special Select 2. It's a double wide Scotty Cameron blade. I've upgraded the weights in the sole, so I've made it slightly heavier, and I've upgraded the grip. I think it plays at about 33 3/4 in length. This is my custom fitter now, so I'm very finicky about it.
Is your bag nearby?
It is, yeah.
Okay, bring your bag over. Pull out some clubs. Let's see it. This is not all.
This is my baby. Don't know if you can see that.
Lovely.
It's the red button back 2, and I've just got an upgraded Golf Pride Tour sensor. It's really soft grip on it, which I love. But I've upgraded the weights on the sole, so I like a slightly heavier feel to my putters, and that's why I've upgraded that. I love it.
So already Chris Farley, who knew less about golf than I did, or who knew far less about golf than I did when we started golfing 4 years ago, now has just skyrocketed past me in terms of golf knowledge, club knowledge, everything. I'm so happy for you, mate.
It's work based, so you've got an excuse. And then in the wedges, Titleist Vokeys. And I've got, this is my sand wedge, my 56. This is a Vokey SM10. If you can see this is blacked out. But this is I can even talk about the bounce and grind if you like.
Yeah, they'll pull you over for that in some parts of the US,
But lovely. And then I've also upgraded the grips to a midsize fully corded throughout all of my irons and wedges. But so my 60 degree is a SM8. My 56 is an SM10, and then my 50 degree gap wedge is an SM9. And they still work for me. The grooves are still good. They still spin up. But I'm very particular about my bounce and grind as well. So
what's your handicap out right now?
It's 7.0.
God damn. You used to be twice me. Now you've halved me.
Yeah, I used to be like 25 to 30.
Yeah.
And I brought it down to 7 in the last 3 years. So I've been working hard. So now we're on to the irons. Throughout my wedges and irons, I have the Lamkin fully corded UTX grips, midsize. They're really, especially in England where it's so wet here, you have to have control of the grip. So I'm really particular about that.
Do you find more control with a thicker grip than a standard stock grip that will come in out of the box?
Not necessarily, no. So there's a few reasons why people should move to midsize. For me, it's because I've broken my left wrist before and have three nails in this finger. So I like to have more. I like to have more compound, so it just dampens the vibrations a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's a real trend at the minute to go larger in grips, and I think Bryson DeChambeau is the advocate of that. But there is a downfall to that, and what happens is I call it the steering wheel concept. If you take a a go-kart steering wheel, you can turn it very quickly. Whereas if you make that steering wheel bigger, it's harder to turn it. So what people find out is when they go too big for the grips is their turnover or their closure rate will not be adequate and optimal. So sometimes if the grips are too big, you're just going to see it just pushed off to the right all the time. But for me, I can get away with mid-size for my hand size. It's okay. But I like it because it's I like to have it in my irons and my wedges. In my woods and longer clubs, I go standard, which is just me. But for my irons, I play a very sexy set of irons. I play Justin Rose inspired, by the way, Justin, if you're listening, the Honma.
Hey, all right. Chris,
Forged.
you know I play Honma blades, right? Did you know that?
I had an idea, but I didn't have an idea.
Okay.
So I play Honma cavity back blades.
We're going to go deep into Honma. But yes, carry on.
Yeah, so I play the Honma forged TW757VX.
Yeah.
So they're a cavity back blade, basically, kind of a larger blade than some other brands, which I kind of find quite confidence inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, they're modern enough that they've got 8 grams of tungsten in the toe, which just helps for forgiveness. And when you catch them,
the forged steel process, the same that a katana, the samurai sword, is used for 1,000 years.
The Japanese, they stopped making swords and now they make golf clubs, baby. So you know, the saying is that nothing feels like a Mizuno. But, so when I was playing forged Mizunos, my Mizunos probably got me down to around about 12 or 13 handicap. But I was, because they're a JPX 900. Forged, they still had a larger cavity in the back, and every now and then I'd get some absolute flyers when I buttoned it. So I needed something more consistent, and you know, nothing feels like a Mizuno. So when I tried to refit myself for new clubs about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit less, I tried all the big brands, and obviously I've got everything to try under the sun in my custom fit bay. The bag. This was a birthday present from a year ago, or maybe. This is a Honma utility 4-iron, and so it has the same shaft but slightly heavier, which is the Nippon Pro Modus 120 in here, stiff. In my irons I play the Nippon Pro Modus 105 stiff, but this is the Honma T-World TWU 4 utility iron. It's very chunky. But I like the forgiveness. It's great off the tee. It's okay off the deck. Again, it's got an upgraded grip, which I absolutely adore. And that's my longest iron in my bag.
So I have actually stopped playing any iron lower than a 5. So basically, my irons go from 11, which is a very Japanese thing. We don't have gap wedges. We don't have pitching wedges. We have basically 3
numbers
through 9, and then 10 and 11, and then 10 and 11s are your same angles as your gap wedge and your pitching wedge.
It's only Asian brands,
and then the sand wedge
really
has an F, basically.
It's only the Asian brands like Honma that really do that with the numbers. So it's quite unique, and I quite like it.
When I ask someone to bring a club around the green from the cart, I'm like, bring me my 11, and they're like, excuse me? Like, I just had to make a hard decision at the beginning of last year, just like, you know what, you can't mishit it if you don't have it in your bag. So I just stopped putting it in my bag. And so I'm driver 5-iron and then all the way through putter. And you know what? It's made me a smarter golfer. I play par 4s as par 5s anyway as a bogey golfer, and it forces me to do that, not having that temptation to hit a hybrid out of a kind of a flyer lie in the rough, you know, because I think I can get it into this, you know, I can get it to the green on a par 4. Like, no. You're hitting your 5-iron, or even if your choice is like, whatever, just hit your 7-iron and get up there.
You're very right, Mark. You know, you're very right. In a lot of the custom fits I do, I don't normally advise to go past a 5-iron unless you're a certain type of ball striker. And it really comes down to the strike quality. You know, that's a mixture of ball speed, as well as, you know, launch conditions, and landing angle and spin rates. And that's why I go for the chunkier 4-iron at the top end. Now, the reason I have that is because on the south coast of England, it is windy, very windy. So
the winds blow. Yes,
we will get gusts of 40 miles, 50 miles an hour here, and you want to keep it below that. So I want something I can punch down there with confidence off the tee, or even if I just want to run it down there on the fairway, that's the club of choice.
Yeah.
So after that, I've also bent that as well. So that's that. Originally it's 22 degrees. I think I bent it to 20 degrees.
So you do that as part of the fitting process? Is there there's a tool that does that for you?
Yeah, you can take a loft and lie machine, and it's very precise with the angles. And you take a brass bar and you can just bend it. Certain clubs only have certain tolerances. Forged irons and forged clubs have a higher tolerance level, so you can take it up to like 3 or 4 degrees difference in lie or loft. But if it's a hot metal or cast, you've really only got 1, maybe 2 degrees to play with. But I wanted to get it a little bit punchier, just to make it definitely goes further than my 5-iron. And then I have probably my newest addition in my bag. Is my 2 hybrid. It's a 2 hybrid, 17 degree. It is the.
Can I see the head cover? I love head covers. Can you show me the head cover?
This is my head cover. This is.
By the way, it's a black and white with an X on it. Chris,
it's a gray.
So disappointed.
No,
You've
it's
got
a
to do
gray
better than this.
Fabric. Come on, man.
You work in a freaking golf factory.
It's very subtle and it's very kind of nondescript, and I love it. I've had this for a while.
You've broken 50 bones due to inebriation. There's nothing subtle or nondescript about you.
That's true. Yeah. But I don't know if I can get this up the right way. I play a Cobra King Tech.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, beauty. My driver's a King Cobra. I love it.
Yeah. This is a fully adjustable hybrid as well. So you've got 3 interchangeable weight ports. You've got an adjustable neck. I play the stiff Mitsubishi MMT 80-gram shaft in that with another Lamkin, but this is standard now. So now I go into standard because I like to try and turn them over with my long irons. My hybrids and my woods. But that's probably one of the most played clubs in my bag. I can take it off the tee. I can take it off the fairway. I can hit down on it out of the rough. I'll even bump and run it onto the green like you saw Justin Rose do at the
I tried to
Pebble
practice
Beach.
that. Yeah, I mean when Martin Keimer won the Open Championship by like 9 strokes, that was his play. That was his what he'd mastered. When you say Lamkin, like what is that?
Lamkin is the Adidas to Golf Pride's Nike. Okay, so they both do the same thing. It was the second largest golf grip supplier in the world. Just last year,
to our American listeners and viewers, he means Nike.
Nike, sorry,
the
Nike.
Greek god of athleticism or competition or something like that. But yes, carry on, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Lamkin is an alternative to Golf Pride. They make really good grips. And last year, actually, they just got bought out by Superstroke, who make putter grips. So Golf Pride are the most played and purchased golf grip in the world, without a doubt. The multi-compound being the most played and popular. But Lamkin offers some really good grips. And for me, Lamkin are a little bit tackier, a little bit softer, which I like. Yep. And they offer it's a little bit different as well. I like what they offer. But now they've just been bought by Superstroke, who is the #1 putter grip in the world with all of those big chunky pistol grip or claw putters. So
I have a Superstroke on my 2-ball. Yeah.
Exactly. So Superstroke have been so popular. They are pretty much the only putter grip of choice nowadays. Yep. Even though I'm saying that I have a Golf Pride putter grip, but anyway. But they bought out Lamkin. They've made so much money on putter grips. They bought Lamkin. And this year, actually, there's an article that you can read somewhere online which talks about the new Superstroke Lamkin golf grips that are coming out and how they're being tested and played on tour like immediately this year. And some of the tour players really love them. Next club.
Drum roll, please.
Here's my head cover.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Very nice.
An improvement on the prior.
Oh, thank you. And I play a bit of an older. I play a bit of an older Titleist 915F 3-wood at 15 degrees in an A1 setup, and I play a hazardous smoke RDX shaft in a stiff 70-gram with another Lamkin grip. I love this club. Although it was in the naughty corner for a while. But not because it was a bad club. It's because I was choosing to use it in the wrong times, and my course management wasn't proper. Yeah. So, I put it away to stop me from pulling it out, I put it in the cupboard.
You
It
can't
knows
miss
what
a
it
club
did.
if you don't have it in the bag.
Yeah,
Yep.
but now I've also popped that hazardous smoke RDX shaft in there, which is a lot more stable, and I'm getting a lot of success already this year with it. And that's a really good club for me off the tee as well as off the deck. I like to hit it off the deck, and that's a really good club, and it gives me a good yardage from my 2 hybrid to my driver. It fills that gap, and I really love it. And now there's the driver. I'll grab this. So I too, Marc, play Cobra in the driver.
Yes, Chris. Oh God, we are just meant to be. But I think your Cobra is a much more modern Cobra than mine, because I feel that this is the Cobra that I've inherited from my dad, who has since passed. And tell me about your King Cobra.
So my Cobra.
Or Cobra. Mine's a King Cobra, which is a brand that's probably dead. Now it's just Cobra, right?
Now it's just Cobra, yeah. They kind of stopped the King. Well, they still have the King range, right? They've still got their King Tech irons. They've got their King Tech utilities. I've got the King Tech hybrid, but this is the Cobra Aerojet 10.5 low spin, so the LS version, which is slightly smaller and slightly less forgiving, but I tend to spin up my drivers quite a bit, so I need to reduce the spin. I do have it in a draw setup because I can fade it aggressively at times. And that I keep it in a slightly more upright draw position just to help me out with that. And then I've got matching shaft to my 3-wood, but much newer. This is in the, I think it's the Gen 5 hazardous black. It's really blacked out, murdered out. Love that. And that's a stiff 60 gram in just a standard Lamkin crossline grip. And that thing is I'm hitting it really well at the moment. And I'd say in terms of my average driver distance, on a cold winter's day in England, probably average is about 250. But then in the summer, it jumps up massively to maybe 280 plus. I'm an absolute golf geek and nerd, and I love the tech.
as I have now seen firsthand going through your bag, it's been a treat. I've never actually seen, as long as we've been friends, I've never seen you go through anything about your work in that kind of detail, and certainly nothing about golf, because you were a novice when we first started golfing together.
Absolutely, yeah, but I've been, excuse my language, balls deep in it for years now, and I absolutely love it. And I think I love hitting shiny new irons. I love testing out the new equipment and feeling it and seeing well, what does this do? What does this feel like? And how do we change this? And what does this lie angle do? And when I train up new custom fitters, I tell them, get in the bay, test the equipment, see it, feel it, try it.
Play more golf. Okay, boss, no problem. Yeah.
Gotcha.